G'day! In today's video I'm going to be talking about laptops or laptop graphics cards and their lack of VRAM, which is extremely disappointing. Now I'll cover a few different things regarding that, but to begin with, what I've been commonly seeing is almost brand new current level performance CPUs getting paired with considerably older low powered GPUs. So what I'm getting at with that is, for example, I'm seeing the 13th gen and 14th gen processors being paired with something like a RTX 3050. I don't think I've seen lower than that at this point. I know with the 12th generation, I'm pretty sure I saw a couple of 1650 Ti's slip into machines, and they're being sold as gaming machines. So having the top end processor of that generation and almost the bottom end graphics processor being sold, to me that is just a shitty balance. What I've got here is a 2-year-old, I believe it's 2-year-old now, MSI Delta 15. It's got a Ryzen 7 5800H, 32 gig of RAM that I've recently upgraded, and an RX 6700M 10 gig model. The reason why I've stuck with this machine for so long is it's got the 10 gig graphics card in there. Looking around, the previous other 3060 machines I had were all 6 gig of VRAM, which to me is a disappointing amount. Granted, it's probably manageable at a 1080 resolution screen, but recently I was looking around for laptops for my wife and I came across the Lenovo Legion 5 2022 model, and with that one it had a Ryzen 7 6800H, 16 gig of DDR5, a 2K 165Hz 500 nits panel, which I thought was pretty darn good considering that would easily be better than what I've got here, especially the 2K part, but it's paired with an RTX 3060 6 gig model. For me, running most games at 2K resolution with 6 gig of VRAM is a bit underwhelming and probably a bit disappointing. Granted, I haven't really been playing too much of the latest games. Probably the latest that I've been playing is Modern Warfare 2, and with that it runs perfectly fine, high refresh rate, high graphics on the RX 6700M 10 gig model. But I'd be curious to see how well that would run on a 2K monitor with a 3060 6 gig model. Granted, another thing that does come into play with laptops is the overall wattage of those graphics cards. You might have a 3060 in your laptop, it might be running at 80 watts, or it might be running at 150 watts, and that's going to give you a fairly large performance difference between the two. But that brings me back to why laptop GPUs are currently disappointing me. New generation, RTX 4060 is out, 4060 Ti, 4070 in laptop form. Most of them are struggling, or the base graphics is 8 gig. 8 gig we had on a 1070 probably over 5 years ago now. I'll need to look it up to be certain, but I'd say a minimum 5 years ago on the desktop variety of laptops, you would have 8 gig of VRAM already there. The sheer limitation on VRAM on these processors is rather disappointing to me, especially once we start pushing higher resolutions. Once we start pushing higher resolutions, we're doing more VRAM to make up the higher texture quality, then we need more space to actually store it. If we're still sitting with 8 gig, I know on the desktop variety of computers I wouldn't bother touching any computer with an 8 gig graphics card right now, or I would not go out and purchase a brand new 8 gig graphics card unless you're playing older games. If you're wanting to play brand new games, I would be probably avoiding that and going 12 gig as a minimum, preferably 16, which weirdly, going back 5 years, 16 gig graphics cards did exist. It just seems to be that at that point in time it was more of a marketing ploy. You get a 16 gig graphics card and it would utilize 12 gig of that in most games, if you're really pushing it. So the number didn't really add up. Or there was an imbalance between the core processor and the RAM, and it just didn't really meet in the middle. It wasn't a nice balanced situation. But I am finding it more and more annoying how the 3060 now has been out for, I think it was January 2021. We're now late November, nearly December 2023, and there's still brand new machines coming out with that chip. The 4060's just come out. It seems to be relatively overpriced for what it is. I'd almost stick back with the 3060, or in this instance, that's exactly what I did. I paid around $1,200 for this Lenovo Legion 5 secondhand, and a brand new Lenovo Legion 5 with a 4060 in it was around almost double what I've purchased this machine for. For double the money, I'm not getting double the performance increase, that is for sure. So I'm hoping that laptop manufacturers, or actually the chip manufacturers, NVIDIA, AMD, actually start dumping some decent RAM into these machines, especially with the widespread adoption of 2K panels, 16-inch 2K panels, as opposed to 15.6-inch 1080 resolution panels. The higher resolution is going to demand more VRAM for those games on those laptops. Anyway, I guess time will tell what's going to happen. Granted, the companies are going to know exactly where the price point is that people are willing to spend while giving us the bare minimum with what we're spending on. I'll see you guys later. Bye.